headlines of VTV News. Resolution number 25 outlines economic growth targets for various sectors. FDI attraction increases sharply in January. And later on in our world news, Argentina to withdraw from WHO.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello and welcome to VTV News. I'm Lina Fatman. Here's the top news of the hour. State President Leung Keung presided over an incense offering ceremony at Kính Thiên Palace in the Thăng Long Imperial Citadel, Hanoi, on February the 6th to commemorate kings and those who contributed to national development. The ceremony, aimed at praying for national peace, prosperity, and harmony, reflects deep respect and gratitude for the kings and scholars who laid the foundation for the culture of Thăng Long and Đại Việt civilization, which has endured through the glorious Ho Chi Minh era. This meaningful event honors ancestors, celebrates traditional values, and preserves customs while teaching younger generations about their heritage. It stands as a centerpiece of the Lunar New Year or Tết celebrations at the UNESCO-recognized Thăng Long Imperial Citadel relic site. On February the 5th, the Vietnamese government issued a resolution number 25 outlining economic growth targets for various sectors and localities. The resolution mandates that the country achieve a GDP growth rate of at least 8% in 2025, while assigning 16 provinces and cities a double-digit gross regional domestic product or GRDP growth target. To meet these ambitious targets, the government has tasked ministers, department heads, and local leaders with closely monitoring economic indicators and implementing effective policies. Local governments are expected to take a proactive and innovative approach in decision-making, ensuring that all economic sectors contribute to the overall growth objectives. Now, foreign investors contributed a total of $4.3 billion in registered, adjusted, and share purchase capital in January 2025. This represents a 1.5-fold increase compared to the same period last year. The realized capital reached over $1.5 billion. The processing and manufacturing industry attracted the largest investment of over $3 billion, accounting for nearly two-thirds of total registered investment capital, nearly double the amount from the same period last year. Foreign investment spread across 39 provinces and cities nationwide. Bắc Ninh province secured the highest registered investment capital, while Ho Chi Minh City leads the country in the number of new projects. Meanwhile, the demand for artificial intelligence or AI personnel in Vietnam is forecast to surge this year, according to the VTVgo Group, a human resource recruitment service company. AI programmers, data engineers, product managers, and quality testers are among the most sought-after positions. Notably, AI professionals command salaries 20 to 50% higher than those in other IT sectors, reflecting the scarcity of qualified talent in this field. According to a survey, over 80% of Vietnamese IT companies have implemented AI in their operations, with nearly 60% using it daily. To remain competitive, experts advise students and workers to develop skills in programming, data processing, and practical AI applications. More than 91% of workers in industrial zones, export processing zones, and high-tech parks returned to work immediately after the Tết holiday this year. This success resulted from companies' early discussions with employees about wages and bonuses.
For the past 18 years, Tan Mai has maintained a tradition of returning to her hometown of Phu Yen for Tet. then promptly resuming work in Ho Chi Minh City on the first day after the holiday.
The start of the year brings new beginnings. I hope this year will be prosperous and that my company will continue to grow. That's why I always make sure to return to work on the first day after the holiday, to offer lucky money to our staff.
The entrepreneurial spirit is something I always want to carry with me. I will leverage the company's resources, its trust in me, and the responsibilities assigned to me. I will do my best to contribute fully.
After Tet, the labor market typically experiences fluctuations as workers may not return or switch jobs. Businesses have taken initiative by implementing employee retention policies and improving benefits.
We have signed several export contracts to Europe, the US, and Japan. On the first day back after TET, we signed domestic and export contracts totaling about $100 million.
Workers' enthusiastic return to their jobs after Tet has given businesses a strong foundation for early production stability. This positive development contributes to economic growth while ensuring stable livelihoods for workers.
According to the Vietnam Coffee and Cocoa Association, over 90% of the country's coffee fields have been fully harvested, successfully concluding a high-earning season. In the Central Highlands, Vietnam's coffee heartland, farmers are investing in high-tech coffee processing. This shift in production practices allows farmers to increase their product's value instead of selling raw beans immediately after harvest.
In Doc Doa District, Gia Lai Province, one of Vietnam's key coffee growing regions, farmers have significantly changed their approach. They now prioritize sustainable practices through chemical-free farming and eco-friendly methods. Young banner farmers, despite the additional time and effort needed, carefully monitor each processing step to produce high-quality, chemical-free coffee.
I grow this coffee on my own farm, harvesting it only when fully ripe. From sorting to fermentation, every step is done with better value in mind.
Coffee prices in the Central Highlands have been steadily rising, now exceeding $5.15 per kilogram. However, instead of chasing profits, farmers are focusing on quality. Organic production, traceability, and modern processing technology are becoming the standard.
The push for high-quality, specialty coffee is also expected to attract more buyers and boost profits for farmers.
With increased investment in deep processing, Vietnam's coffee sector is poised for strong growth in 2025, aiming to surpass the record $5.4 billion in export revenue achieved in 2024.
Vietnamese people spent nearly $36 million daily on major e-commerce platforms including Shopee, Lazada, TikTok Shop, Tiki, and Sando. According to a report by e-commerce research company Metric, transaction turnover has increased by more than 37% compared to 2023, with online shopping continue to show strong growth. Beauty, home, and fashion remain the best-selling categories, with grocery and food showing the highest growth. Imported goods have seen significant increases due to improved logistics and enhanced buyer protection policies. Market competition has intensified, particularly as foreign products gain dominance. And before we move to the next part of VTV News, let's check out how the Vietnam dong is weighed against other currencies in the world market today. Coming up next, combating cyber fraud, authorities crack down on high-tech scammers. And forest-based economy strengthens livelihoods and conservation efforts. A strong cold front will hit northern Vietnam this weekend, bringing potential heavy frost and snowfall to high mountainous areas. The system will cause widespread severe cold weather, with temperatures dropping to 9 to 12 degrees Celsius in the lowlands and 5 to 8 degrees Celsius in the highlands. In high-altitude mountainous areas, temperatures may drop below 2 degrees Celsius. In Hanoi, the lowest temperatures are forecast to fall from 7 to 8 degrees Celsius, with the highest around 12 to 13. Light rain is expected in northern and north-central regions from the evening of February the 6th to the morning of the 8th, due to the cold air mass combining with strong upper atmospheric winds. From the 7th and 9th, localities from Nghệ An to Khánh Hòa may experience scattered rain, with some localities seeing heavy rainfall and thunderstorms. These storms may bring strong winds, lightning, and whirlwinds. This severe cold spell is expected to last until around the 10th of February. Fraudsters target diverse groups from the elderly and students to working professionals. They exploit people's vulnerabilities and impersonate others to gain trust before stealing their assets. More in the following story.
The Krong Pak District Police and specialized units from the Dak Lok Provincial Police discovered a cyber fraud ring operating in Krong Pak. Through advanced investigative techniques, the Dak Lok Provincial Police and the Ministry of Public Security's Cybersecurity and High-Tech Crime Prevention Department tracked down and identified 57 individuals involved in the scheme. Investigators discovered through interrogation that in early 2024, Nye Ker Zam contacted an unknown person on Telegram to establish a group for online fraud. Nye Ker Zam then used social media platforms to recruit multiple staff members to execute these criminal activities.
I followed the exact script provided, similar to telesales, with over 100 employees. On average, I earned about 210–420 United States dollars a day. Since I started, my income has reached approximately 29,000 United States dollars. Afterward, they immediately deleted the data. I realize my actions were wrong, as I helped them steal money from victims.
My task was to receive an Excel file each evening, containing 19,000 to 26,000 pieces of customer data, including names, phone numbers, and addresses. My job was to distribute it among employees. The employees would copy the phone numbers and paste them into the system to make calls, following a preset script.
The fraud ring has stolen hundreds of millions of USD, with over 8 million United States dollars paid out in Dak Lok province alone. The telesales team systematically destroyed evidence by deleting all spreadsheet data every 15 days.
The fraudsters operate in cyberspace, using encrypted communication groups with very high security. They also use tools to hide their tracks and avoid detection by law enforcement. The criminals constantly change their scripts to deceive people nationwide.
Authorities advise the public to avoid answering calls from unknown numbers. They also warn against sharing personal information online, since criminals can use this data for fraudulent phone calls, text messages, and threats.
Hanoi has launched 32 new online public service agencies. These locations provide residents with support and guidance for completing administrative procedures and retrieving documents efficiently. This initiative marks a significant step in the city's development of digital government, streamlining of administrative reforms, and conservation of social resources.
In addition to providing mail and parcel services, the Central Post Office in Hon Kiem District now has a new task: assisting customers with online public service procedures. This is also the first time that Yen has completed her criminal record certificate application at a post office.
When I did this at home, I missed a few steps. Here, the staff guided me through the whole process. I just needed to provide my documents, and they took care of the rest.
Each service point features a screen that lets residents follow step-by-step instructions for their tasks, helping them learn to complete future procedures from home. Staff members are also available to assist those without smartphones or anyone needing extra guidance.
Thanks to service agencies like this, I can complete the procedures quickly and submit everything online. Plus, it's convenient that it gets delivered right to my home.
By transferring certain public administration tasks to businesses, Hanoi expects to reduce workload at district and department levels by approximately 40%.
This will help reduce inconvenience and corruption and simplify procedures for residents. In the long term, we will encourage other IT companies with strong infrastructure and a high level of professionalism to join us. This will help residents experience convenient digital services and improve their digital skills.
By the second quarter of this year, Hanoi plans to establish around 500 online public service agencies, with the goal of having 80% of residents utilize online public services.
Quảng Nam province has recently mobilized resources to eliminate 15,000 temporary houses. Quảng Nam prioritizes providing new homes for people in mountainous areas, especially in remote border regions. As a result, most households living in substandard housing in the 14 communes along the border have now received new homes.
In the days leading up to the Lunar New Year, Tien's family in Arsant commune moved into a new house, a gift from the Quảng Nam Provincial Border Guard. As a low-income household, the family of 6 had previously lived in a makeshift house. Now, having this new home is a dream come true for Tien and his wife.
We are happy that the Border Guards gifted us a new home during the Lunar New Year. This is a source of great happiness for us.
During the 2025 Lunar New Year, we supported the repair of 31 temporary houses and replaced 9 dilapidated houses for people in the border areas. We are continuing to mobilize new resources for this effort.
At the beginning of 2024, Quảng Nam had more than 11,000 temporary and dilapidated houses. Just over 12 months later, it has reduced this figure to a little over 5,000 temporary houses requiring to be replaced.
We now have enough resources to eliminate temporary housing. We expect to completely eradicate temporary housing by October this year.
Quảng Nam has allocated more than $5 million this year to eliminate temporary houses and mobilized additional resources to strengthen housing for border area inhabitants. With this policy, the political system in the province has united to eliminate temporary housing, with the border guard forces taking the lead.
Communities living near forests in Phú Thọ province are securing stable livelihoods through forest-related economic activities. Beyond earning from forest environmental service payments, they have developed income sources that sustain their daily lives while strengthening their commitment to forest protection.
Phong's family owns 30 hectares of acacia trees that are ready for harvest. Rather than logging immediately, they chose to extend the growth cycle after learning about the province's incentives for transitioning to large timber forests. His family receives $475 per hectare for this transition.
Harvesting after an 8-year cycle would yield around $4,000 per hectare. But extending the cycle by 3 more years and thinning the forest would double the revenue.
Forest farmers operating on a short 4 to 5 year business cycle typically earn between $396 and $594 per hectare annually.
Aside from timber production, cultivating medicinal plants has emerged as another profitable venture. Sun's family, previously living in poverty, found it difficult to invest in family production. With support from local authorities and a loan from the Social Policy Bank, they started growing medicinal herbs. Now they maintain a thriving plantation of nearly 5,000 Ngoc Lin ginseng plants ranging from 4 to 10 years old.
The bank loan helped us invest in ginseng farming, which in turn provided financial stability for our family.
The district will further expand local ginseng cultivation in collaboration with businesses, cooperatives, and investors. The district is actively attracting companies to invest in ginseng farms and build processing facilities to enhance the value of ginseng-based products.
Vietnam's plantation forests currently supply about 30 million cubic meters of raw wood annually, generating an average of $17 billion in wood and wood product exports each year. Additionally, revenue from non-timber forest products and ecotourism continues to grow, simultaneously improving forest-dependent communities' livelihoods and promoting sustainable forest conservation.
Thousands of visitors, both local and foreign, flocked to the traditional horse racing festival in Go Thi Thung, Xuân An Commune, Tuy An District, Phie Province on the 9th day of the first lunar month. The festival attracted 32 local horses this year. Most of the racing horses are mares and typically carry agricultural products, and the jockeys are predominantly local farmers. People travel from great distances to attend this event. In Phie Province, many locals still rely on horses to transport agricultural products and farming supplies. These horses excel at navigating bumpy, slippery terrain that vehicles cannot access. A healthy horse can carry more than 100 kilos on its back. Coming up next in our world news, Argentina to withdraw from the World Health Organization. And Ukraine and Russia exchange hundreds of prisoners of war. The government of Argentina announced its withdrawal from the World Health Organization, or WHO, on Wednesday. The country's presidential spokesperson explained that Argentina receives no WHO financing for health management, meaning the withdrawal will not result in any loss of funding or affect healthcare service. The withdrawal will become official once President Javier Milei signs an executive order. Russia and Ukraine conducted a prisoner of war exchange on Wednesday, with 150 prisoners from each side returning home as part of ongoing humanitarian mediation efforts. The United Arab Emirates brokered the deal, continuing its role in facilitating exchanges that have freed more than 2,000 prisoners. This marks the 12th prisoner exchange since 2024 as Russia and Ukraine enter their fourth year of conflict. The Baltic countries of Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania are severing their electricity grid connections to neighboring Russia and Belarus this weekend. On Saturday, all the remaining transmission lines connecting the Baltic countries with Russia, Belarus, and Russia's Kaliningrad region will be switched off one by one. For the following 24 hours, the Baltic power system will operate independently. The power system will then merge with the continental European and Nordic grids through links with Finland, Sweden, and Poland. Prior to this, 16 power lines that connected the three Baltic states with Russia and Belarus were dismantled over the years, including underwater cables in the Baltic Sea. Moscow and Minsk were informed of this plan last July. Singapore is taking a proactive approach to combating rising temperatures and reducing energy consumption in its public housing. All existing public housing flats in Singapore will be coated with heat-reflective paint by 2030 to make estates more climate resilient and contribute to a greener urban environment.
Despite facing direct sunlight, this surface feels surprisingly cool. And that's because this isn't conventional paint. All existing public housing flats in Singapore will be coated with heat-reflective paint, by 2030. Special additives help the paint reflect more of the sun's heat instead of absorbing it. With cooler walls, less warmth is also emitted back into the environment at night. Studies have shown that the air temperature around these blocks was up to 2 degrees Celsius cooler.
When we paint a large amount of buildings within a certain area, then the combined effects will actually be quite substantial, and all the surrounding areas where the cool paint is being painted will actually see significant reductions in air temperature.
In 2021, some 130 public housing blocks managed by Singapore's Housing and Development Board, HBD, were coated with special paint. The paint job is the latest initiative under the Green Towns program.
The approach that we take in HDB is to pilot and try out innovative solutions, and if it works, we want to scale them out as quickly as possible. And there's the advantage of HDB being one of the largest residential developers here in Singapore. So we are not waiting for the projects to be deployed in the new estates.
The Senior Minister of State for National Development also announced smart meters to track energy usage and maintenance cycles in common areas. More than 1,000 vending machines will also be deployed from next April to collect beverage containers for recycling.
And now let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that's it for this edition of VTV News. Thank you very much for watching. To rewatch our program, you can download VTVgo from App Store or Google Play, or tune in our YouTube channel at youtube.com/VTV4Go. Goodbye for now.